Hello and welcome to Indulge Online. We have with us today the Consul General of Belgium, Mark Van de Vreken, and he's going to be talking to us about culture over filter coffee. Hello Mark, very nice to see you this morning.
Good morning.
I'm just wondering, you're very new to Chennai. You've been here, 2 months now?
I think about 8 weeks,
About
something
8 weeks,
like that. Yeah.
So how's it been so far? And the Belgium consulate itself is about 4 years old or 5 years
Yes, that's
old.
correct. Yeah.
So what's it like being in Chennai?
Well, it's a great city, I must say. Of course, it was very hectic the first 2 months because you have to settle. First, I was living near the beach in Panayur, but I decided to come a bit closer and moved basically last week. So there was a lot of practical things to do because if you're a diplomat, you move in, and the first months, first you arrive in a city with, in my case, 2 big suitcases and 2 hand luggages, and that's for about 2 months, and then you wait for your container that is being shipped. So I settled last week in the center, so I was very busy with that. In general, I'm very pleased by the city. Chennai is a very welcoming and accommodating city. The people are extremely nice. I have a couple of friends also that whenever I have a problem, I call them and it's fixed within a few hours' time. And it is a vibrant city. Chennai is the economic capital, and you could say the de facto capital of South India. And you really see that there is a lot of potential here. And what you just mentioned is we indeed opened up 4 years ago our Consulate General here in Chennai. So before we had an embassy, we still have, but we only had an embassy in Delhi and the Consulate General in Mumbai that was also covering the south. Given the fact that India is growing very rapidly, India is currently the fastest growing major economy in the world. The south of India, Tamil Nadu, is the second fastest growing economy in India. So economically speaking, a lot of things are moving, and that's why my ministry decided 4 years ago to open up here in Chennai a Consulate General that is in charge of South India. And I think it was a wise decision to do that because there's a lot of opportunities. The state visit was a great success. State visits are the highest type of visits that are happening in the diplomatic relations between countries. And basically our new king, Philip, he swore the oath in 2013. And then he decided that on all the state visits there should also be a large business delegation. So there was a huge business delegation accompanying their Majesties, the King and the Queen as well. They do 2 state visits per year. One at a shorter distance, one country at a shorter distance and one country at a longer distance. So the fact that they come to India already in 2017 shows the importance, of course, of India for Belgium. What is more is that this year we are also celebrating 70 years of our diplomatic relations. Belgium was one of the first countries that recognized the Indian independence in 1947. And we have very strong ties with India. So therefore, the decision was taken about 2 years ago that India would be visited by their Majesties in 2017. So there were a lot of activities being planned, official activities, of course, meetings with the President, with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, also ceremonial meetings. For example, what is maybe often forgotten, but should not be forgotten, is that a lot of Indian soldiers also did fight during the First World War and basically fell in Flanders, and we are currently in the commemorations of 100 years of First World War. So there was a special ceremony on that. There was also a ceremony on on remembering the victims of the Mumbai attack in 2018. So these are more the protocol parts of such a visit. And then there were some social occasions as well. There was a huge reception at the Belgian embassy with a light show. There was a performance by a Belgian Indian dance group which is called Bollylicious. As you might know, Belgium is also the country of Tomorrowland, which is the biggest electronic dance festival in the world. And one of our DJs, Lost Frequencies, gave a concert at India Gate in Mumbai. And of course also Their Majesties played a game of cricket. And what is a bit special about cricket is that basically cricket, nobody knows this basically, but it has been invented in Flanders in Belgium in medieval times. At the time, people used their stick in which they herded their sheep. And then one last activity that Their Majesties did was they played a game of cricket. And what is not really known is that cricket basically was invented in Flanders in Belgium by Flemish weavers in medieval times, and they had a kind of game with a stick with which they herded their sheep, and basically they called it met de krikketsen, which means basically in Dutch, beat with a baton, met de krikketsen, and from there the word cricket has established, and basically they brought it to England, and then it became a very famous sport in England, and then also in India and other countries. So all in all, such a visit is a very rich visit with lots of activities from the morning till the evening. It's a very strict program, so if you're part of the delegation, as I was, you have to be always on time, because if you're 1 minute too late, then they might forget you, and then then you're not part of the group anymore. So, but it was a very successful visit. Well, actually, so far I have not seen that many yet, because I didn't have the time yet. I moved in, had to relocate my place and so on. The first thing I did, actually, the first weekend when I arrived, I was invited to an Indian wedding, and that was already a very special cultural experience to me. I attended both the Sangeet on the first evening and then the wedding on the second evening, so that was something that I enjoyed a lot. Of course, culture is the way of bridging the contact between people, and the Tamil culture is, of course, a very historic one. There's a lot of theater here, there's a lot of music festivals, and I definitely want to get more involved in that once I really settle down in the city. Yeah, that's it.